Imagine making a promise that would not only change your life, but also the lives of those around you. Today, I'm going to share a story that will touch your heart and make you reflect on what truly matters in life. It's a story of love, family, determination, and above all, faith. But listen carefully. You'll want to stay until the very end, because the conclusion of this story might just change the way you see the world. It was a chilly winter morning in Melbourne. The shy sun cast a soft glow on Margaret's small home, a 62-year-old woman with eyes full of stories and a smile that hid years of struggles. Margaret had lost her husband, Jack, 2 years earlier, but a promise he had made her swear on his deathbed still lingered in her heart. "Promise me you'll complete our dream trip," Jack had said, his voice frail as he held her hands tightly. They had always dreamed of driving along the iconic Great Ocean Road together. But life, with its bills, work, and unexpected twists, kept postponing their plans. After Jack's passing, Margaret realized that fulfilling this promise wasn't just a wish of his. It was a mission she felt compelled to undertake, no matter the cost. Margaret began planning. She sold a few old pieces of furniture to rent a vintage van, the same kind Jack used to admire. But what she didn't know was that this journey would become far more than just fulfilling a promise. As Margaret embarked on her journey, doubts began to creep in. Am I doing this for him or for me? She wondered, the question echoing in her mind with every kilometer she drove. The first few days on the road were peaceful. Margaret drove slowly, stopping at lookouts to soak in the scenery and recall the conversations she and Jack had often shared about those very places. But on the third day, the unexpected happened. The van broke down in a remote spot, with no phone signal and nightfall fast approaching. Alone and stranded, Margaret lit a small stove and waited for help. In the stillness of that night, she found herself looking at the stars and reflecting deeply on her life. "Why do we always leave our dreams for later?" she whispered to herself, tears streaming down her face. That night, something shifted within her. She realized that Jack's promise wasn't just about crossing a road. It was about rediscovering herself, facing her fears and embracing the present. The next morning, a fellow traveler named Tom, a 70-year-old man with an equally moving story, stumbled upon Margaret. He helped fix the van and decided to accompany her for the rest of the journey. During their travels, they shared stories, laughter, and tears. Tom, too, had lost his spouse and was searching for new meaning in life. Together, they formed a bond that reminded Margaret of a profound truth. Even after loss, life is still worth living to its fullest. And before we get to the most heartwarming part of this story, remember, by subscribing to the channel, you help us keep bringing you incredible stories like this one. Don't miss the ending. It's going to surprise you in ways you won't expect. When Margaret finally reached the last lookout on the Great Ocean Road, she came across something that changed everything. At the top of a cliff stood a small weathered plaque with a phrase that felt like it was written just for her. The journey is just as important as the destination. And in that moment, Margaret understood. It wasn't just about fulfilling a promise. It was about cherishing every step, every obstacle, and every person who crossed her path along the way. As she gazed out at the ocean, tears streamed down her face. Jack wasn't there in person, but Margaret felt his presence as though he'd been with her all along. For the first time in years, she felt at peace. This isn't just Margaret's story. It's all of ours. So often, we focus so much on the destination that we forget to live the journey. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the most meaningful journey you've ever taken? Share your story in the comments to inspire others. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming stories that make us reflect on what truly matters. Life is full of moments like this, and I can't wait to share the next one with you.